Hi, you guys. It's me, James Lott Jr. Again, this is a special edition of the really quick James Lott Jr. show, and I have my friend Flobo Boyce.
Hey, what's going on? I stuck the landing there.
We're laughing because his last name. It was all his last name. Yeah, sure. Not Boise.
Or Bryce. I get that a lot too.
Bryce. Yeah. Or Boyce. But isn't there a music group, the Boyce Brothers or something?
Boyce Avenue.
Boyce Avenue. Yeah, yes, I've heard them. Yes.
It's actually Boyce Avenue in Atwater Village. I'll take a picture of that sign there too.
How funny. Yes, I've heard of them. See, I've heard of them.
Yeah.
I've heard of them.
I'm hip. I'm with it.
Okay. So something like that. No, just kidding. He's a friend of mine. He's also at AfterbuzzTV. He's a full AfterbuzzTV host. But he does so many other things too. He's a comedian. He's a DJ. Flobito. Did all you guys stuff there.
Yeah, Flobito.com.
Yes. So on other episodes, I'm going to talk to him about other stuff too. But this one, we're talking about actually, he's part of wrestling. He has a shirt on that's a...
Yeah, it's a mashup of the NWO, and last year WrestleMania was at New York City. So it's kind of like a little hybrid thing there.
Okay, so wrestling. I grew up, obviously, with Roddy Rod Piper and Captain Lou Albino and Hulk Hogan, all that.
Yeah.
And I kind of watched it. And in the 90s, I was into Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bill Goldberg, and all that. I did that for a little bit, in The Rock and all that. But I kind of came out of it. But I know that wrestling is a huge industry. It has a huge fan base.
Yeah.
When did you first see wrestling?
Wow, that is a very difficult question to answer because as long as I can remember. So I was from New York. I still am, but like the World Wrestling Federation is like the local federation there. So I grew up with WWE Superstar or WWF Superstars, Wrestling Challenge in the 90s. I think 1992, 93 is the far back as I can remember. That's the Razor Ramones, that's Olivia Piper. Hogan was already in WCW at the time, so he wasn't a big fan for me, but Tatanka was my favorite growing up. Duke the Dumpster Drozy. A guy who worked so hard during the week doing trash and decided to be a wrestler on weekends. It was great. It was awesome.
It seemed like it was a ragtag, band of people who would do wrestling. They come in, they had other things going on, but they come on and play these characters. And I remember back in the 90s, it was very theatrical and very huge.
Yeah, that's what got me into it. It was... Yeah, everyone like poo-poos on wrestling and, I can't believe you watched that. But as a kid, it was theater in the round. It was our Shakespeare. It was seeing good versus evil, trash man versus hockey player in a match every week.
I'll give Vince McMahon some credit back then because he was pulling it all together. And I remember WrestleMania was airing on, I think, network TV, like on Friday nights or whatever. And it was huge numbers. Huge numbers.
Yeah, Saturday's Main Event was one of them, or even Closed Circuit. My next door neighbor had cable, so I didn't have cable. We were poor. My dad was like, cable, we got 3 channels, we're good. So I had to go next door and watch it late at night to be like part with the cool kids.
How funny. That's so funny. Okay, so you always like wrestling. So now let's cut to today. You are at AfterBuzz. You're part of their wrestling kind of news and gossip team. So
there's AfterbuzzTV has a whole new vertical, they call it AfterbuzzTV Wrestling and Sports, which is funny because wrestling goes first, which is nuts.
Yeah.
I cover the Monday Night Raw and the WWE NXT after shows. The NXT is like their third brand, and so every Monday and Wednesday, because there's no reruns, I go there live and I watch all the shows. 3 hours on Monday, 2 hours on Wednesday, break down the matches and analysis.
So you do similar to me. I do the soaps.
Yeah.
We have to watch 5 episode a week.
I don't know how you do that, bro.
But you're watching 5. I mean, it's not. Don't you have storylines? Is it like
there's storylines and stuff like that too. But I think what I like about being a wrestling thing, you can always fall back on the sports thing. You can always say, "Hey, look, this is an athletic competition." But like on those soaps, you can't be like, "Well, what doesn't do it for me." Up next.
That's true. You're right. It's hard for us. We do a hard job.
Yeah, probably what you guys do.
Yeah, but that's fine. So you have to go in because it's done. Everything's live. When you say there's no repeats, you have to go in. How do you take notes? Do you take notes on a computer, paper? Like how do you?
I take notes because I moderate. So there's other panelists that have to help you out with the show.
Any shout outs to your panelists?
Yeah, shout out to Jim Alexander, Jack Farmer, who's there. The Core 3, TK Trinidad does it too. George Hermosa. There's a whole big cottage industry there at AfterBuzz. But I try to do the match results first, and I have questions that helps work on the skills of each different panelist. Some panelists are good at analyzing the characters, some are better at doing the matches themselves, some have hot takes. So the best idea is to make sure you have a nice blend of everything so the listener has a dynamic view of the show. And not just going match 1, match 2, match 3. We have fun, we joke around. It's like a morning radio show.
I know, I've seen a couple of yours and it's fun.
Oh, you watched it?
I did a couple times to watch you guys. So how did you become moderator?
Oh, wow. Just showing up.
Okay, hey, there you go.
Just showing
That's
up.
a lesson, everybody.
No, and I'll be honest with you, man. I got an audition. I was on this show that didn't work for what's called After 83 Weeks. Christy Olsen. Shout out to her.
I love Christy. I love her so much. I love Christy.
She's great. She gave my first wrestling job at AfterBuzz.
Wow.
And the show didn't last very long, but they gave me an audition for Raw because Raw had a revolving door of panelists and hosts, and people were getting hired by WWE. John LaQuasta was getting hired.
I love Johnny.
Johnny.
And also Kathy Kelly.
Kathy Kelly got hired before I started, but she got hired there too.
My buddy Mark Donica and all them. I love all them.
Sonya Deville, Tony, Thea Trinidad, who's Elena Vega.
Yes.
So I got auditioned and I blew it. I was terrible because I was scared. I didn't know it was Raw was an institution at AfterBuzz.
Yeah.
It was the flagship.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was like, oh look, guys, I understand if you guys wouldn't want to hire me back. I totally get it. You know, doing the self-flagellation, you know. No, come back next week and so on. Johnny got hired, and Evan Mack got moved into the position. Yeah. He got hired by WWE, and it was like, who's the person that comes in every week who can do a little comedy, do a little levity, and I got the job, and that was in September. So I've only been in that seat since September. It's now February now, but it feels like I've been there for 10 years.
Yeah, I see that, yes.
Yeah.
So that's fine. So okay, I have to ask because are there many other black people that kind of do wrestling in terms of press and talking?
It's got a little bit of a culture now. I mean, there's like Josiah Scott, who's like a black rapper for wrestling, but no, there really wasn't. And especially back then where there wasn't so much representation. We all gravitated towards The Rock.
Yeah, of course.
Because, I was bullied as a kid. I was a heavier set dude, seeing The Rock being athletic and, like, being that guy on TV. So representation was always something we have to work on as far as, like, getting the outreach out there. Somehow it's better now. A lot more women are getting time. A lot more women, people from different sexual orientations are getting more time.
I see that.
But there definitely is a small but steady growth towards that. So that's why I love being that, because I love being able to be a person of color and approach the show as a sportscaster in a way, and have the little comedy element there too, being like, that match was crazy. Or like, what a move! You know what I mean? So.
Yes. Now, okay, so I mean, kind of tell me, is the crowd still as large as it's ever been in wrestling?
There is a cycle, so now it's kind of hot. So I would say the crowds now are bigger than they were, or even on the level they were in the late 90s and even the late 80s when we had like that rock and wrestling era. I guess the mid 2000s were pretty much a slow period. It was kind of like we went underground. It was like, oh, you still watch wrestling? I used to watch it, but it's not cool anymore. Yes. And that's the real fans and the fans who come in when it's hot. Yes.
What do you say to fans, or non-fans? You say it's fake, it's phony. Why do you watch that? I mean, what do you say to them?
Oh yeah, so there's two things I say, and one of them is you can't fake gravity. From all these movies, someone drops you on your head, you're dropped in your head.
Yes.
I always say this now too. 500 years ago, when the storylines were written by William Shakespeare, we called it theater in the round. People still go to the park to watch 12th Night every year. No one ever says, we know how it ends, bro.
Right.
They'll turn your brain off, understand it. It's an experience. You have your characters and costumes and pyro, the things that they gravitate towards, and that's why I love it.
Oh, that's a good answer. I like that. No, because you always hear these critics for everything. It's like with soaps, like, oh my god. But it's entertainment. I think any entertainment that makes you feel good, and it takes you out of what's going on in your life in a positive way, I think, why not?
Yeah, I had the few opportunities to be in wrestling as a ring announcer.
Oh, how fun!
It was that's a lot of fun. And I know a lot of the wrestlers in the SoCal area. One thing I learned from that than anything else: if one person buys a ticket to the show, give them the whole show. Because they worked 2, 12, 24 hours to make that money to buy that ticket. Yeah. So when you're watching these individuals jumping off top ropes and hitting over the head with chairs, they're giving their bodies for you, man. The least you can do is say, I'm on board.
I like that. Okay, that's very true. And I think it's still hard work. You can't just become a wrestler and go in there and just fake it. I mean, you have to actually, there's a lot of work that goes into it. It's a sport.
Yeah, it's a sport. And any movie you see that won an Oscar, all about that pretending and acting too.
Yes, it is.
Parasite, bah humbug. Now, WrestleMania.
Yeah. That Parasite movie, whatever. But wrestling. Yes, that's so funny. If you were a wrestler, do you have a name?
Oh, yeah, Reggie Wax. Reggie Wax from Brooklyn, New York, man, because he can chant it. Reggie Wax, Reggie Wax.
You can?
Yeah, you see the T-shirt and the crate.
I like that, actually. I do. Reggie Wax. Okay, I like that. Okay, I'm trying to think. Would I have a name? I'm trying to think. I don't know what kind of name I would have. I gotta think about that, you guys. I don't know.
You could have you could do the realistic first last name. You could do like a little branding name, like a one name type deal.
I'll be the Black Hope.
Okay.
That's my brand name. Black Hope. That's right. I'll be the Black Hope.
Oh man, you're gonna win every February.
Exactly. I like this. That's funny. I like that. He's a comedian. See, that's crazy. That's great talk. So, okay, so that's good. Okay, so tell folks where they can actually find you on the shows and everything when they can watch.
Oh, sure. Yeah, AfterbuzzTV Wrestling and Sports is available live every Monday and Wednesday night, live on YouTube. But if you're on iTunes or a Spotify person like myself, the podcasts are available. Just look for the unofficial Raw After Show or the NXT After Show.
Yes, I was looking down because I was trying to think of a name besides Black Hope, but I think Black Hope be it. I think Black Hope's right.
I think James Lott Jr. works.
As a wrestling, James Lott Jr.
Yeah.
That's right. You can chant my name.
Yeah, why not?
JLJ in the ring.
You're a brand, dude. You're a brand. You're good to go. Locked and loaded.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
And where can they find you on social media yourself?
Oh, yes. You can follow me at Twitter at Flobo Boyce, on Instagram at Flobito, and Flobito.com. That's FLOBITO.com.
Got it.